Hello, you are listening to 89.5 FM KCFV The Wave, diverse music for your diverse mind. I'm your host, Jell, and in a few minutes, specifically at noon, we will have the news, the weather, and then a short break, and our video game news and information show, GameBabble Live, here on 89.5 FM KCFV The Wave, diverse music for your diverse mind, so please stay tuned to this channel. Until then, here's Distractions by Kelani. Please enjoy and thank you for listening. Currently, it is 94 degrees here on the campus of Florissant Valley Community College. I'm Jell with your noon news update. In local news, Governor Christie catches foul ball at Cards-Mets game. New Jersey Governor Chris Christie is making headlines for what he did at the Cardinals-Mets game. The St. Louis Cardinals and the New York Mets squared off yesterday at Citi Field in New York. Christie caught a foul ball hit by Cardinals' Paul DeJong. His barehanded grab was met with boos. The New Jersey Republican apparently gave the ball to a kid who was sitting nearby. The Cardinals ended up winning the game 5-0. Edwardsville School District cancels classes for eclipse. Students in the Edwardsville School District will have the day off on August 21st because of the solar eclipse. The school district has joined a number of other districts across Missouri and Illinois that have canceled classes that day. The Edwardsville School District says it is canceling classes that day because it can't protect its students from looking at the solar eclipse. The district says the district says it would not be able to provide enough safety glasses for everyone. The school district plans to add a day at the end of the school year. And a truck catches fire on Highway 40. The cause of a truck fire that broke out on Highway 40 is under investigation. A FedEx truck caught fire yesterday morning as it was driving on the highway just east of I-270. No injuries were reported. All the packages that the truck was carrying were destroyed in the blaze. In national news, President Trump is kicking off the investigation of alleged voter fraud in the 2016 election. The president dropped by the first meeting of the Advisory Commission on Election Integrity at the White House today and said the government has a sacred duty to uphold the integrity of the ballot box. Democrats say there is no evidence of substantial voter fraud in the U.S. President Trump is still looking for a win on health care. Senate Republicans are expected to have lunch with Trump at the White House to mull over health care today, following the near collapse of the GOP legislation in the Senate. Trump took to Twitter this morning to say senators must keep their, quote, promise to America. And the Russian lawyer who met with Donald Trump Jr. last year says she wants to clear the air and testify before Congress. Natalia Yeselnitskaya said she wants to clear up the situation that caused, quote, this mass hysteria, unquote. Donald Jr., Jared Kushner, and then Trump campaign chairman Paul Manafort met with the attorney in June of last year. In campus news, let's see, part-time lifeguard positions are now available at a starting rate of $10 per hour for the fall 2017 semester. Lifeguards can earn future tuition assistance, meeting STLCC requirements. Requirements must be currently certified as a lifeguard to apply, must provide certification cards when interviewed. If you are interested, call the physical education office. So again, we are looking for some part-time lifeguards for the fall 2017 semester. You got to be certified. If you are interested, call area code 314-513-4275. That's area code 314-513-4275. And now on to the weather. It's hot. But okay, today, partly cloudy, high of 98, low of 80. Tomorrow, it will be partly cloudy, high of 102, low of 81. Friday, it'll be sunny with a high of 102, low of 82. Saturday, it will be sunny with a high of, again, 102, low of 79. Getting lower. And then Sunday, it'll cool off with a nice breezy 96 degrees for a high and a low of 72, and it'll be partly cloudy. That said, when I looked this up, supposedly there's a chance of sudden extreme windstorms out of nowhere? Like, it says the most we can expect is 6-mile-per-hour winds, if even that, but at the same time, I had a severe windstorm warning popping up, so who knows, maybe, like, all of a sudden you'll get smacked in the face with wind, so be careful? I don't know, it's pretty calm out there right now, but who knows? I'm gonna assume weather.com knows. Anyway, that concludes our news and weather. So please stay tuned to 89.5 FM KCFV The Wave. Diverse music for your diverse mind. Not just for the diverse music, but because after a short break we will be back with GameBabble Live, our video game news and information show, which airs every Wednesday here from noon to 3 p.m. Only on 89.5 FM KCFV The Wave. Until then, please enjoy Bleed Blue by Brooke Royal featuring Blues Highlights. Thank you for listening. So, wait, the St. Louis Blues have a theme song? I like it. That was nice. I like that song. That was Bleed Blue by Brooke Royal featuring Blues Highlights. Now I understand why it says that. I'm like, Blues Highlights? That's a very interesting name for a group. Anyway, you're listening to 89.5 FM KCFV The Wave. Diverse music for your diverse mind. I'm your host, Jell, and this is GameBabble Live, our video game news and information show, which airs every Wednesday from noon to 3 p.m. And hey, guess what else is going on from actually 11 to 3 p.m.? So for the entirety of this show, the Enrollment Express. That's right. If you'd like to, come down and attend classes here at Flow Valley and, you missed all the other ways to set it up, apparently we have some kind of, fast express enrollment going on right now. I'm pretty certain it's at the student center. I should double check that, but if it's not, then you can just walk into the main office and ask them where the Enrollment Express is. I'll double check. But, yeah, we got Enrollment Express. Come on down, all the way to 3 p.m. They will apparently enroll you super fast. Anyway, on to GameBabble. We like to start the show off with what came out this week, what's coming out next week, and then what anime are in theaters, which, on the anime front, I am very surprised. Looks like, August is going to be a busy month for anime fans. Anyway, this week, PlayStation 4, what came out? Well, first of all, there was 99 Vidas, which is a Brazilian-made side-scrolling beat-em-up that looks pretty good, but the Steam reviews didn't look very good, and I'm like, it's cheap at least. There is Area A Collector's Edition. Archangel, which is a PlayStation VR game we will talk about more later in the show. It's this weird on-rails mech shooter, gorgeous visuals, but you may as well call that game Why I Love Mortal Blitz. Children of the Zodiacs, which seems kind of like a fan-made Final Fantasy Tactics wannabe game. Looks like a lot of love went into it, though, so it could be a very good thing. And speaking of love, Fallen Legion Sins of an Empire came out, which is actually created by one of the guys who runs SiliconeEra.com, which is where I get a lot of my video game news and information from. Apparently teamed up with, pretty impressive group of people to put together a nice 2D RPG. Might be worth looking into. Also, Orcs Must Die Unchained, Overwatch Game of the Year Edition, I guess, Robot Riot Hyper Edition, and Yonder the Cloudcatcher Chronicles. And then on Friday, Conga Master comes out, Fortnite comes out, which I think is some kind of, Overwatch meets Minecraft, sort of. It sounds like you build forts and defend them with people. I don't know, I haven't looked too far into Fortnite, but it might be pretty fun. As well as Super Hot and Super Hot VR, which Super Hot VR is already out in, Australia and Europe, but whatever. I went ahead and pre-ordered it because there's a special, you get the game for a little bit cheaper if you pre-order it now, so I did, and on Friday I'll finally be able to play the game. Yay, Super Hot VR, it looks good. A lot of people are like, dude, this is one of the best games in VR, and I'm like, okay. Yeah, so that's PlayStation 4. Xbox One, what you got going on? Well, we got Area A Collector's Edition, Overwatch Game of the Year Edition, Moon Hunters, What Remains of Edith Finch, which I think I heard that was pretty good. Apparently tomorrow they get a game called Gigantic. Was that? I think that might have been sort of a MOBA with, like, giant characters you could summon, but don't quote me on that one. And then Friday, Conga Master and Fortnite. How about you, Nintendo Switch? What's going on with you? Well, you got Minecraft Story Mode, a Telltale series, The Complete Adventure. So that's Season 1 of Minecraft Story Mode. Tomorrow, the Nintendo Switch gets some kind of puzzle game beat-em-up hybrid, I heard, called Boost Beast? Yeah. And then on Friday, we get Splatoon 2! I need money! Splatoon 2 comes out! Yeah! And then, let's see, nothing on 3DS. And on Vita, we got 99 Vitas! Ha! And Fallen Legion, Flames of Rebellion, both of those came out this week for the Vita as well. What about next week? Well, next week, PlayStation 4, a game called Aven Colony. Fortnite apparently comes out again. That's probably when they do the physical release. Mafia 3, Sign of the Times, so I assume that's an expansion pack. Pressure Overdrive, Pyre, Smashbox Arena, which that makes me very happy. I hope that's like a nailed-in release date, because Smashbox Arena is some kind of, as if you've been listening to the show, you know that I love my PlayStation VR, and Smashbox Arena is an actual multiplayer first-person shooter. Weirdly, it uses teleport movement, but it's been released on, like, the Vive and the Oculus already, getting its PlayStation VR port. Looks super fun and happy. People are like, this is what happens when you mix Team Fortress with Mario Kart, and I'm like, I could go for that. It looks like fun times. I will play that. And Super Cloud Built is also listed as coming out next week, along with Unbox, Newbie's Adventure, and a game called Sundered. I think I remember Sundered being something I should care about, but I forget. Anyway, Xbox One. What else is coming out? I'm sorry. Apparently there's, actually, wait, no, that is next week. What the heck is this? Okay, that's not what I was hoping it would be. Not the grid. Okay, no, I'm sorry. Misread that. Don't worry. Next week, Xbox One gets Aven Colony, Fortnite, Infinite Mini Golf, which I believe is a mini golf game where you can, like, build your own courses. That's coming to everything. There's even going to be, like, a PlayStation VR release, even though it doesn't actually use the VR very much. And it's coming to Switch. But Infinite Mini Golf is coming out for Xbox One next week. Is that coming to PlayStation 4 next week? No, it looks like PlayStation 4 has to wait a little bit longer for Infinite Mini Golf. But it'll be hitting Xbox One. Mafia 3 Signs of the Time, of course. And then Grid Retro Enhanced, Pressure Overdrive, Unbox, Newbie's Adventures, and it's like Cyber Complex and Super Cloud Built. Interesting. Next week, for the Nintendo Switch, they get Fate/Extella, the Umbral Star, and hey, Infinite Mini Golf, along with Physical Contact 2048 and Quibix Paint. And, hey, on the 28th, is the 28th next week? 28th is next Friday. Namco Museum for your Nintendo Switch, which the Switch version of Namco Museum comes with a version of Pac-Man Versus. It has stuff like Rolling Thunder 1 and 2 on it, along with both Galaga and Galaga 88. And if you've never played Galaga 88, that's one of the good ones. Could have used to put G+ in there, too, even though not a lot of people like G+, but I would have liked G+ as well. But whatever. Very, very nice. We got the new Namco Museum for the Nintendo Switch. 3DS next week is getting a game called Swipe, and then Hey Pikmin and Miitopia, which both of those are things. Like, Hey Pikmin is a 2D side-scrolling Pikmin game, and Miitopia is some kind of crazy me character RPG. It's like that Tomodachi Life game, except an RPG. It actually looks really fun. And also, the new 2DS XL comes out next week. Hey. And on PlayStation Vita, some game called Collar X Malice. Woo, that concludes the games that are coming out this week and next week. Good times for all. Anyway, let's talk about anime in theaters. Next week, July 23rd and 24th, Kiki's Delivery Service will be in a whole lot of theaters because it is a Fathom event, part of the G-Kids Studio Ghibli Fest. They're doing a different Ghibli movie every month, and this month it's Kiki's Delivery Service, July 23rd for the dub, July 24th for the sub. That's a Monday, July 24th. So, yeah, July 23rd is this Sunday, and then next Monday, day after, that's when we do the subs for Kiki's Delivery Service. So if you want to see that in theaters, that's coming. Now then, August. There are 3 animes coming out in August, so brace yourself. First of all, we've got In This Corner of the World, which will be out August 11th. Then, Fairy Tail Dragon's Cry. Yes, the anime series Fairy Tail is apparently getting a theatrical feature film. I did not know this. Admittedly, I don't follow Fairy Tail, but I'm kinda curious about the movie. It will be in theaters, little weird, August 14th, 16th, and 19th. Yeah, weird dates, not, consistent. But again, August 14th, 16th, and 19th for Fairy Tail Dragon Cry. And then the Ghibli Fest for next month is Laputa Castle in the Sky, so I'll finally see that movie August 27th and probably 28th as well. You can find out more about these films by hitting up FunimationFilms.com and the G-Kids Studio Ghibli Fest website. Just go Google search Ghibli Fest 2017 and you'll find things. Anyway, that concludes the new releases this week, next week, and what anime are coming to theaters. Kick you back to the music for a little bit. But do remember that we have Enrollment Express here at Florissant Valley Community College from 11 to 3 p.m. So come on down if you want to get into classes real quick like. Anyway, here is Ghetto Streets by Young K. Here on 89.5 FM KCFV The Wave. Diverse music for your diverse mind. Thank you so much for listening. Hello, you are listening to 89.5 FM KCFV The Wave. Diverse music for your diverse mind. And yes, Student Center. Enrollment Express from 11, which is already past, to 3 p.m. here at the Florissant Valley Community College Student Center. If you want to come on down, get enrolled for classes, come on down all the way to 3 p.m. When the show ends, we got Enrollment Express. It's a thing. Also, you know what's great? You know what's really great? When you're setting up for the show and got your laptop that has all your show notes on it, all the news and information that you're going to be spitting onto the mic, and they're like, okay, yeah, everything's fine. Computer goes into sleep mode. You wake it up and says, oh, where's the hard drive? Yeah, that was a little scary. Just out of nowhere, can't find the hard drive. I'm like, what do you mean you can't find the hard drive? You were just reading from it a minute ago. Yeah, it's gone now. What do you mean the hard drive is gone? Oh, who stole my hard drive? But I rebooted it and it was fine, and I did check disk, but so yeah, it's a little dicey. Good thing I brought a portable hard drive. I think I'm going to be backing up some of my show. Yeah. So, good times for all. Let's see, what do we got next? How about The Hero of Canton by the Brown Coats? Here on 89.5 FM KCFV The Wave. Please enjoy. Thank you for listening. There will be more GameBabble Live after a short break. And again, remember, Enrollment Express, 11 to 3, Student Center, here at Florissant Valley Community College. Thanks for listening. Hello, you are listening to 89.5 FM, KCFV The Wave, diverse music for your diverse mind. I'm your host, Jell. This is GameBabble Live, your video game news and information show, which airs every Wednesday from noon to 3 p.m. And that was My Opponent by Sleep EJ and Goodagoon. And yeah, please remember that the Enrollment Express is going on at the Student Center here at Florissant Valley Community College from 11 to 3, so got until 3. If you want to get some classes going on, swing on by Florissant Valley Community College. Anyway, let's get on with some actual video game news and information. Just just backed up my show to the external hard drive after that little scare earlier. That was fun. It wasn't fun. So, last weekend was EVO, the Evolution Fighting Game Championships, biggest fighting game tournament in the world, taking place in Las Vegas, of course, because of, gambling rules and all those things. Money matches, you know how it is. And as such, big pile of fighting game news. Because all the fighting game companies were there, like, a lot of the actual creators of the games showed up, because they're like, wait a second, the eyes of the world are on Evolution. If you like fighting games, this is where you go. Everyone made sure to have something to announce at EVO 2017. As so, let's get on with the announcements. First of all, Tekken 7. Geese Howard from King of Fighters is coming to Tekken 7. So, before we say so long to Heihachi, we will get the Heihachi Geese match that we deserve. Two heads of giant evil-ish corporations who are also fighting guys, fighting it out. Fighting dads, really. Actually, Heihachi's granddad. But still, that's happening. Geese is coming to Tekken 7. Some people are pretty excited for that, because Geese Howard, he's a pretty fun character. Moving on, Blaze Blue, the newest one, Central Fiction. They are going to release one more DLC character. We are getting Jubei, which has to make a bunch of people happy, because I know a lot of people who have been saying, when's playable Jubei? They need to put Jubei in the game. Where's Jubei? If you're unfamiliar, Jubei is a very important character in Blaze Blue. He is a samurai cat. But he's a really important one because he's also one of the legendary heroes, and he's Ragnar the Blood Edge's master, and like the whole race of cat girls were based on his DNA, and he's the guy, he's the father of Kokonoe, and her mother was Nine, who's playable, and she's a crazy witch lady. And, don't think about the implications of that too hard, because Jubei's pretty awesome. And, yeah, he's a samurai cat that is, he's been in the series since the beginning and hasn't been playable, and a lot of people have been like, well, you gotta make him playable. Well, now he's playable. Looks like he plays like a combination of Taukaka and Baiken, which I think is what everyone really wanted, and yeah, he's coming to Blaze Blue. I think he's coming pretty soon, too. Street Fighter V announced Abigail, which is one of the big muscle wrestler guys from Final Fight. He's going to be added to Street Fighter V. They have probably the least impressive announcement. Speaking of announcements, they've also announced a game called once again, back to Arc System Works, Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle, which is where they're taking all of their high-res 2D fighters and mashing them together in a tag crossover. It is Blaze Blue versus Persona 4 Arena versus Under Night In-Birth EXE Late versus, and this is the big surprise, Ruby. Yes, RWBY, Ruby. The CG animated series that everyone liked. Yeah, at least one character from that is going to be showing up in Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle. Apparently the show is actually super popular in Japan, so people are excited about that. And yeah, they have new Blaze Blue crossover game. Moving along from that, Dragon Ball FighterZ Z had a big ol' tournament at EVO, even though the game isn't done and they only had 6 characters to work with. They were like, just go hold an exhibition tournament, because people want to see tournament play of this game. They want to see people get good at it. They want to see what's in store for EVO 2018, because if Dragon Ball FighterZ is not at EVO 2018, I will be shocked. And yeah, if you go on YouTube, it's on, like, the direct feed footage. The best footage is on Namco Bandai's official YouTube channel. And yeah, it's really impressive. I will say, there's a lot of super moves being thrown around, which is fitting for Dragon Ball Z. It's like, who needs normals? Who needs specials? Just supers all day. That's Dragon Ball. I love how flashy it is. It is great to see the game in action. I can't wait to see what it's going to be like at EVO 2018. Because, yeah, there's so much flash. You actually beat a character, you see the other one dash in, and they do the punch clash, and if you beat someone with certain super moves, you see giant explosions, and, like, if you beat them with, like, a Kamehameha or some kind of giant beam projectile, it cuts to a view from space, and your freaking beam super is visible from space, and the arena gets destroyed, and just the flash in this game is insane. It's beautiful. So very happy to hear that, and apparently, Dragon Ball FighterZ won, like, 40 awards at E3. It kind of stole the show. On top of that, they announced that Final Fantasy Dissidia NT is going to have a closed beta. You can sign up for it now. That is the weird Final Fantasy fighting game. But yeah, that's happening. Also, Arika's Not Street Fighter EX is confirmed. It will be coming out next year. They're hoping for an April Fool's Day release, so exactly 1 year since it was first shown, and the game doesn't even have a name yet, but you know what it does have? Skullomania and Darun Meister. They showed them at EVO. People are probably super happy about that, because everyone loves Skullomania. If you're unfamiliar, he's a Street Fighter EX character who's like a businessman who dresses up like a skeleton luchador who acts like a superhero. The point is, he's a crazy character with a really, really good move list. Like, he has tons of crazy diving sweep maneuvers. Like, I actually tried playing him recently in Street Fighter EX3, and I'm like, oh, egad, no wonder everyone likes Skullomania. This character is crazy fun to play. So he's coming back, and Darun Meister is the character that one Turkish oil wrestler from Street Fighter 4 was based on. Hakan. The character Hakan was based on was Darun Meister. He's confirmed back, so I would be shocked if Purna doesn't come back. Also, they have, the storyline is getting weird. Hokuto is now named Shirase, because apparently she had, like, her true self imprisoned, and now her true self is free, and they're talking something about the spirits of ancient warriors being able to be used. I don't know. All I know is I look at this crazy fighting game from the makers of Street Fighter EX, featuring Street Fighter EX characters that aren't Street Fighter, and I don't know, it looks promising and fun and fast. I can't wait for it. It'll be great. They're really hoping for an April Fool's 2018 release. I wish them the best of luck. I'm kind of expecting a Killer Instinct style release, where they, like, release the game sort of unfinished at a low price and then sell it piecemeal by the character. I'd be kind of okay with that. They've got a decent base for right now. If they can make Skullomania and Darun Meister that fast for the game, then I think by April Fool's 2018, we should have a respectable enough roster for at least a digital release. Anyway, let's see. Oh yeah, the other one, this wasn't really at E3, but it's very much fighting game news related. Arcana Heart 3 Love Max 6 stars has made its crowdfunding goal. I think I mentioned this on the last show, but Arcana Heart 3 Love Max 6 stars was the latest release of Arcana Heart. It's been in Japanese arcades for like years, at least 3 years now, but it's had no home port. And they were like, yeah, we don't know how we're going to do a home port, but people want it. So they're like, well, Arcana Heart 3 Love Max did well on Steam. We'll do a Kickstarter, and if we make our crowdfunding goal, we can do the port to Steam. And it wasn't a very large amount. They just needed a bit of financial help, and they made their funding goal, so it will be coming. But if people keep funding and donating to it, they're going to be adding a new story mode and 3 new characters, essentially making this Arcana Heart 3 Love Max 6 stars plus or something. I think Sugoi would be the proper term, considering it's Arcana Heart. But yeah, they want to add 3 new characters. They released a trailer for what they're thinking of for the 3 new characters, which are Shark Girl, Darkheart, and Omega. Shark Girl pretty much stole the show. She's a shark girl. She is a shark girl. Her hand can turn into sharks, and she can, like, merge with other shark girls to turn into a big ol' shark with, like, a bow on its tail and eat her opponents. Yeah, everyone likes Shark Girl, so all the comments on the video are go Shark Girl, so if we only make the crowdfunding goal for 1 character, it'll probably be her. And they've already said that her Arcana is going to be that busted last boss from Arcana Heart 2. The one who's in the time attack mode, yeah, they'll make her into an Arcana if they make this crowdfunding goal for Shark Girl. The next one is Darkheart, who's like an evil heart character. She hates Heart, which is the main character of the series, and yeah, she has like some kind of sword, and she's alright. The other really interesting one is Omega, who will be the final boss if they make the crowdfunding goal for an extra mode. Hopefully Omega will also be playable, the extra story mode, I mean. And yeah, she is taking advantage of being a 2D sprite, because she fights completely naked except for like a few scraps of cloth that always cover the naughty bits. And I'm like, well, that's one way to take advantage of the fact that you're a sprite-based game. Omega is probably the second most liked character. Not a lot of people care about Darkheart, she looks fun enough, but wow, do you get outclassed by Shark Girl and Omega. So those are the 3 characters that might be in Arcana Heart 3 Love Max 6 stars for Steam. And I'm really happy that game made its crowdfunding goal, even though I don't really like playing games on PC personally. I would like it to have a PlayStation 4 release. I make exceptions for Arcana Heart. I'm not a super hardcore Arcana Heart fan, but I respect the crap out of that game. Because it is... I mentioned this on a previous show. Arcana Heart 3 is probably the deepest 2D fighting game ever made. And I know there's a bunch of Guilty Gear fans and BlazBlue fans out there being like, yo, what do you mean it's the deepest? It just looks like some kind of dumb, all-schoolgirl fighting game. No. Arcana Heart is nuts. When you combine the crazy homing dash system and the Arcana system with all the other things, Arcana Heart 3 is crazy. Again, that Arcana system, if you're unfamiliar with it, every girl has an Arcana, but you can mix and match the different Arcanas with the different girls. And each Arcana alters how the character plays and adds new moves, because you have an Arcana button. So you have, like, special moves there, like quarter circle forward Arcana, quarter circle back Arcana. And, yeah, if you give someone a plant Arcana, they get the ability to drag people in with vines and plant seeds that put in, like, plant traps and stuff. If you give someone the mirror Arcana, they can throw out Aegis reflectors and transform into their opponent and steal their moves, and one of their supers, even. The Fire Arcana lets you do guard breaks. The Shadow Arcana turns your shadow into this weird shadow batwing slime thing that you can command around to fight for you. And the Wind Arcana gives everyone sonic booms and the ability to double jump and air dash and move even faster. It's probably one of the most popular Arcanas. It's just the Wind Arcana, because it's like, oh, take your character, now they have higher maneuverability. Very nice to have. So, yeah, the different possibilities of mixing and matching characters and Arcanas, pretty great. And I have to say, if you've only played Arcana Heart 1, give 3 another chance, because I'll be honest, I didn't like Arcana Heart 1 either. I played it because it was a high-res 2D fighter back then, and it had a good concept, but Arcana Heart 1 was slow and stiff and had terrible music. Arcana Heart 3 fixed all of that. The controls are way more responsive, the game is faster, and the music is not crap. It was so hard to fight in Arcana Heart 1, because it just had dating sim music. I can't fight the dating sim music. I need fighting game music, and Arcana Heart 3 brought the fighting game music. Very nice. So, get excited for the Steam release of Arcana Heart 3. Goodness knows I am. And I think that about... Oh, wait. Dragon Ball FighterZ. At E3, they showed Trunks is going to be coming, of course, and then after E3, they announced Krillin and Piccolo are confirmed. Some people were a little concerned because, like, the director of the game was talking about how it might be difficult to get weaker characters into the game because it might make Dragon Ball look bad. And people were like, but we love Krillin. Well, Krillin will be in the game. Apparently, his Destructo Disc is chargeable, and at max charge, it becomes unblockable. So, yeah, Krillin could be good. And, of course, Piccolo's there because you gotta have Piccolo. Everyone loves Piccolo. So, they are confirmed for Dragon Ball FighterZ. I don't think anyone was worried about them not showing up, but they're here. They are here. They are coming. Anyway, time to kick you back to the music. Coming up next is Too Bad Canada's Not a State by Make Me Break Me here on 89.5 FM KCFV The Wave. Diverse music for your diverse mind. And remember, we got Enrollment Express going on at the Student Center here at Florissant Valley Community College all the way until the end of the show at 3. So come on down if you would like to, enroll super quick in some classes here at Flow Valley. Might be a thing. Anyway, time for Too Bad Canada's Not a State here on by Make Me Break Me here on 89.5 FM KCFV The Wave. Thank you so much for listening. Hello, you are listening to 89.5 FM KCFV The Wave, diverse music for your diverse mind. I'm your host, Jell. This is GameBabble Live, and sorry for the excessively long break. Some recent news just popped up involving River City Ransom Underground, namely the fact that it is getting a new soundtrack, so that way they can put it on consoles, which caused me to snap, and now I am researching a story that is very long. So that's going to take up a chunk of the episode, which is good, because I actually don't have much to talk about after EVO, and some VR stuff. I guess I was going to talk about the Atari box, so let's talk about the Atari box. Quick detour, because this might have been showing up on your feed. Yes, Atari is... Oh, before that, though, do remember, we've got the Enrollment Express going on at the Student Center here at Florissant Valley Community College all the way to 3 p.m., which is the end of the show. So come on down, enroll for classes super fast, and have a good time here at Flow Valley. I've personally enjoyed my classes here at Flow Valley, especially the radio production courses, and apparently we have some video production courses. They're a little trickier to get into. If I can find a way, I'd love to actually get into them as well. And yeah, we've got all sorts of things. We even have an animation course, which I know because my sister's the animation teacher. So come on down, enroll for classes. It's a pretty darn nice community college here. Very, very nice atmosphere, rather laid back. Good times here at Flow Valley. So let's talk about the Atari box. I mentioned this earlier. Atari is making a new console. They're calling it the Atari box, and people were like, why, huh? Well, they showed pictures of it now, and to their credit, at least it's not like, it looks like a new Atari system. They're definitely playing off nostalgia. The system will come in a black and red color and a wood grain finish color, because it's meant to look like an Atari 2600, but not, and I like that. Because I do, of course, have some concerns, especially because we really don't know anything about the system. Apparently, it doesn't have cartridge slots or disc slots, or, we don't even know how powerful it is, what games it'll have, and apparently it's being kickstarted, which is, of course, making me think this is going to be either the Ouya 2 as a best-case scenario, or a Coleco Chameleon as a worst-case scenario. Now, you might be saying, Coleco Chameleon, what was that? Well, a couple of retro game fans tried to make a system called the Retro VGS. And they were like, oh, this will play new cartridge-based games, as well as, a bunch of retro games. It was going to be the super cool, emulation box / brand new system. And they bought the rights to use Atari Jaguar shells to make it. They bought the production equipment to make the outer casing of an Atari Jaguar. That's all fine and dandy. The Atari Jaguar is probably one of the coolest shaped video game consoles ever made. I love the way it looks. I kind of miss when video game consoles had a unique design to them, but the Atari Jaguar shape belongs to the Atari Jaguar. Don't just make a knockoff. Come on. Anyway, there was some kerfluffle about it, and the Retro VGS got canceled, and all of a sudden, the Coleco Chameleon shows up, which, hey, looks like an Atari Jaguar, and it's the same deal. Oh, wait, it's the Retro VGS with a different name. They bought the rights to the Coleco name, which is kind of disappointing. Like, fun fact, if I'm not mistaken, Coleco stands for Connecticut Leather Company, and they actually, like, made a whole bunch of toys. I've been cleaning out my grandmother's house and looked at a bunch of our old toys, and it's amazing how many toys were made by Coleco. I remember some of my big wheels when I was a wee little kid were made by Coleco, and we found other Coleco toys over there. Just a random side note there. But yeah, they bought just some random retro game fans bought the rights to the Coleco name, and that's kind of a thing that annoys me. Hey, we bought the rights to use the Jaguar shell, and we bought the rights to slap the Coleco name on it, and like people looked into it, and the whole thing was just a mess. I don't remember how it went down, but it was pretty much just a chintzy NES on a chip console. It was nothing special. They tried to crowdfund it, and the whole thing fell through. And there's a definite concern that the Atari box is going to be the same thing. It's a question of, is this really being made by, like, Atari? I mean, Atari's name has changed hands so many times. It's like, who's even really making the Atari box? What is their plan? What can it do? These are all unknown. And right now it's just, hey, look at this new console from Atari that looks like an old console from Atari. Get excited for it. And I'm like, oh, I'm excited because I'm a video game collector, but cripes, it could just be an Ouya again. Who remembers the Ouya? That was a fun time. They were like, oh yeah, we're going to make this super cheap $100 indie retro console, and it's going to be, not retro, but like an indie console, and it'll just play indie games, and it'll be super cheap, and we're going to crowdfund it, and everyone got all super excited, and then, you know, the thing comes out, and it's like, oh, it just plays crappy indie games, and it takes longer to get them on the Ouya than it does to get them on Steam, and it doesn't actually work all that well, and it's really just an Android device that can't play Android games. Yeah. The Ouya was a disappointment / laughing stock. And it was funny watching the tide turn on that, because before release, there was so much hype for the Ouya from all these outlets, and I'm like, it's just an Android console, right? Nothing that special. It's a cute idea, but really? And then the Ouya actually comes out, and all of them turn on a dime to bashing it, and the Ouya becomes the laughing stock of the universe. It was, I don't know. You know what? There's a channel on YouTube called Crowby Cat, like all one word, Crowby Cat, that has a fantastic video of the Ouya. Really, Crowby Cat channel is great, because he doesn't actually do any commentary. He just splices together montages of other videos in a way that tells a story. So for the Ouya one, he splices together all this stuff about the hype and then interviews with all the developers, you know, showing how they just didn't really know what they were doing, and then showed the reaction to the Ouya, a bunch of unboxing videos. There goes a brownout. Am I still on the air? I think I'm still on the air. Yeah, that was weird. Power just went woo. But okay, so the Ouya, like, and then he shows, you know, the head of Ouya quitting and it being sold to Razer and just the whole thing falling apart. It's a beautiful video. I highly recommend checking it out. And then watch the one on the Kinect. The Kinect one is extra funny for me as someone who personally considers themselves a motion control aficionado. The Kinect was an incredible piece of technology that made a very bad controller. Unless you were playing dancing games. It's a great, like, dance pad of the future, but that was about it. Like, if you want to know good motion control, that's called the PlayStation Move. But, oh, geez, I could spend hours talking about that mess. But, yeah, the good videos on Kroby Cat's channel. I just look back on the Kinect launch and laugh. I know, slight detour change of subject there that happens sometimes. But I gotta say, I picked up my Kinect on launch day because, like I said, I like dancing games. I am a motion control aficionado. I had to try the goofy thing. I remember that line was so full of people who didn't give two craps about motion control, but the fact that Microsoft was making this compelled them to buy it. It was embarrassing. I had so many friends who don't like motion control and don't like dancing games, but bought a Kinect and raved about it. I have one friend where the only Kinect game he has is Kinectimals, and he will rave about how amazing that game is. Kinectimals is trash garbage. Like, Kinectimals is so bad, there is a cheap Kinectimals knockoff from the makers of Barbie Horse Adventures called Fantastic Pets that is legitimately better. Because Kinectimals is not a virtual pet game. It is a garbage minigame collection with double clippies. Because you can't just sit there and watch your pet play and pet them and raise a relationship with your pet. No, your pet will run off and be like, "Do you want to play this minigame? Do you want to play this minigame?" Acting just like Clippy. And then you have the stupid flying lemur thing. Oh my. I need to do a review of Kinectimals because I do own that thing. And it is one of the most garbage games I've ever played. Not the most garbage. That's still Sonic Boom Rise of Lyric, followed by Crash Boom Bang. Apparently, you take classic platformer, add Boom, the result is garbage. So let's hope we never get Mario Boom. But, whew. And before anyone says Hotel Mario, no, Hotel Mario is better than both of those games. I have Hotel Mario, actually. Bought that before the prices on CDI games skyrocketed. I think my Hotel Mario is still in shrink wrap when I got it. Oh, those were the days. Thanks, YouTube Poop. You've just increased the price of all those CDI games. Anyway, I guess I'm going to kick y'all back to the music while I continue researching a very long-winded topic. Might take me a minute. This looks slow. There are so many things that happened. Brace yourself. I usually stay away from drama, but this is objectively relevant drama. So we're gonna have a little fun with this one. Until then, here's Help by Papa Roach here on 89.5 FM KCFV The Wave, diverse music for your diverse mind. And don't forget about the Enrollment Express going on until 3 p.m. here at Florissant Valley Community College. Come on down, sign up for classes super fast. Anyway, here's Help by Papa Roach. Thanks. Hello, you are listening to 89.5 FM KCFV The Wave, diverse music for your diverse mind. That was Money Showers by Fat Joe and Remy Ma, and this is GameBabble Live, your video game news and information show, which airs every Wednesday from noon to 3 p.m. Also, friendly reminder, because I've been asked to remind totally a word. The Enrollment Express is going on until 3 p.m. in the Student Center here at Florissant Valley Community College, so if you want to get signed up for some classes super quick, head on down, show up, say hi, good times. Parking lots, there's a lot of parking spaces, so you'll have no problems. Anyway, sorry for that excessively long break. I kind of tripped and fell into a rabbit hole with this mess. I knew a little bit about it, but there's a full article explaining a factual timeline of events. Now, I try to keep drama and politics and that kind of thing off the show. However, this is objectively a debacle. And the reason I bring it up is because River City Ransom Underground has been pulled from Steam. They're changing the soundtrack and they're putting it back up, which will likely not work. Why? Because Alex Mauer. Alex Mauer is a woman who has gone completely psycho, filing DMCA claims that are ravaging YouTube and Steam. It is showing the sheer... It's almost a good thing this happened, because this is showing that the entire concept of DMCA claims, especially the automated kind they have in a lot of these places, doesn't work because one crazed psycho person can just abuse the system. This woman is now liable for over 100 counts of perjury now. I can't believe it. Like, this person needs to go to jail so hard. It's amazing. So, how do we explain this? So, Alex Mauer is a composer who did music for a ton of indie games. And one of the indie games she composed for was a game called Star Mazer. She wrote a contract that the people who made Star Mazer would own the rights to the music, because that's generally what happens when you do a work-for-hire contract. And she was pretty buddy-buddy with the people who made the game. They were good friends. Everything was going super spiffy. Everything was great in the world of Alex Mauer and indie music. However, Alex Mauer, for reasons we won't go into, wanted to change her name. And, in the midst of all of this, she wound up going to court for some unrelated crimes. Basically some disorderly conduct, receiving stolen property, and theft by unlawful taking of movable property. So because she's currently on probation, Alex Mauer cannot change her name, even though she really wanted to. And so Star Mazer comes out with her music, and they make a spin-off called Star Mazer DSP, also using Alex's music. And Alex sort of flips out and starts filing DMCA claims everywhere, saying, you can't use my music, that's a breach of the contract, I wasn't paid enough. Alex Mauer was paid, but not, according to her, not paid enough because there was sick leave and she took too long to get the music to them. But, like, it was a mess. And she starts filing DMCA claims against YouTubers. Like, anyone that showed footage of Star Mazer DSP should give them a DMCA claim for her music. And people were like, hey, yo, that's not cool. And she's like, well, I'm trying to get the people who hired me to do this work to give me more money, and if you don't get on my side, then I'm just going to file DMCA claims. The problem is, if a channel gets too many DMCA claims, they can be pulled off of YouTube. And, yeah, videos get pulled. People wind up losing a lot of money. They could even lose their channel. And, a bunch of people try to talk to her about this, try to resolve the situation, and she decides to just make the case worse. Even saying that she hates YouTubers, says, quote-unquote, playing video games is not a real job, and actively wants to take down Let's Play channels. Even creating a second account to file DMCA claims from, and specifically targeting channels that only have one or two more strikes left. When asked to do an interview, she did an interview with one YouTuber who wanted to get to the bottom of this whole thing and help her case and try to work out the DMCAs, get them retracted, and she winds up DMCAing the interview. She's like, no, I own the rights to my own voice. You can't do that. And she keeps, like, putting the Star Mazer soundtrack up on Bandcamp for sale for $1,000. And it's like, you don't own the rights to the whole soundtrack, though. You were one of 3 people that did music for it. And this keeps going. She gets Star Mazer DSP pulled down once because of the music. And then they replace the music. They're like, okay, we'll remove your music. We'll put in new music, and we'll put it back up. Then she's like, no, you're using my sound effects. And they're like, okay, fine, we'll replace the sound effects. Now, all of your work has been removed from the game. Yeah, well, you're still, I'm not kidding, you're still using my file names. Game gets pulled off of Steam a third time. And now, she starts going around and filing DMCA claims against anyone who ever worked with her, including Adult Swim Games. That means she is filing DMCA claims against Turner Broadcasting. And, like, none of her actions are making sense. She's complaining about supposedly getting death threats while simultaneously filing tons of death threats of her own, sending, like, pictures of knives stabbed through things. Eventually, you know, the makers of Star Mazer DSP, they lawyer up, they get her to go in for, like, psychiatric help, and we think, okay, it's over, she's going to get psychiatric help, she's clearly got problems she's going through. She gets released early and starts filing DMCA claims everywhere. They get a restraining order saying you can't file any more DMCA claims against Star Mazer DSP channels. So she starts DMCA claiming, like, other games and videos and things. River City Ransom Underground gets pulled off of Steam because of DMCA claims. So now they're changing the music, removing all of Alex Mauer's work from their game because the makers of River City Ransom Underground outright admit, we don't have the money to fight this legal battle. If we do, we can't bring the game to console. So we're changing the music and focusing on bringing the game to console, even though they are in their legal rights, even though they paid Alex Mauer all the money that they had to pay her for the music. They're still like, we're in our legal right, but we just don't have the money for lawyers. The U.S. legal system is completely broken. Alex Mauer can just completely steamroll us, even though we are in the legal right. We can't fight this in court. And it's getting nuts. There's like there was a crowdfunding campaign to help the Star Mazer team lawyer up. And the lawyer is dead, and that was completed in like a day because there are hundreds of people on YouTube losing their livelihood because they dared to play a game with Alex Mauer music. And where's my favorite part? I have to look this up. There's this one game. What's it called? There is a fantastic timeline on, let me see how easy it is. It's SirTapTap.com, who's one of the YouTubers that was hit, and he's looking at all these Alex Mauer articles that are coming out. Because Destructoid tried to cover it, and they sort of whitewashed all of Alex Mauer's wrongdoing and called any YouTubers that reported on the situation ambulance chasers, and, like, some other tech site did the same thing, and so this guy's like, okay, here's just a factual timeline, no commentary of everything that's going on with this. And oh, yeah, that's what took me so long. I read this whole thing. There's just so much stupid here. So, where is this game? There's one more. There it is, Disaster Piece. What was the name of their game? Disaster Piece had a game. Let's see, There we are. Lexi and the Cheap Disaster. Just at some random, on July 4th, apparently, Alex Mauer starts sending threatening emails to a company called Disaster Piece, saying they will lose the rights to Lexi and the Cheap Disaster, which I assume is an indie game, if they refuse to join her cause. Basically, if you aren't fighting with me against Imago Softworks, you lose the rights to the game you made. And while we're at it, Star Mazer lost its publisher because of this debacle. And yeah, Disaster Piece was like, we're not getting involved with this, so they quote-unquote lost the rights to Lexi and the Cheap Disaster, and Alex Mauer's just sending threats after threats to all these people, and a bunch of people actually try to help Alex Mauer, and she just insults them and makes fun of them, and keeps changing her story, sometimes saying that it's because she wants to change her legal name, but she can't legally, which if that was your plan, wow, talk about a backfire. No one knew who Alex Mauer was before, but now because you've made this complete mess. Your name is everywhere. Everyone knows Alex Mauer now. Everyone's talking about Alex Mauer because you keep sending DMCA claims from Alex Mauer, ruining so many YouTube channels, getting games pulled off Steam, which everyone knows this is fraudulent. This is the most amazing thing. See, sending fraudulent DMCA claims is perjury. Alex Mauer has committed over 100 cases of perjury and admitted to doing it with malicious intent while in, and has gone in for psychiatric evaluation, as has been found to be, I guess, sane enough to not just go, oh, I'm just, not in my right mind. No one has gone to jail yet for filing false DMCA claims. And if Alex Mauer isn't the first to do so, then there is a problem. Again, hundreds of cases of perjury. And what makes it even more amazing, Alex Mauer openly admitted in a text conversation that was found of wanting to pit Imago Softworks, makers of Star Mazer DSP. She wanted to pit their lawyer against the maker of the game, and she was intentionally doing this. Intentionally. And the thing is, the legal system doesn't work, so I'm going to make these two just fight one another, and I'm intentionally dragging things out to waste these people's money. And she says, and I quote, this is from the text conversation, "It's basically at the point where the only thing to do is let the criminals self-incriminate," Alex Mauer says while self-incriminating. Indeed, it is basically to the point where you let the criminals self-incriminate. It's amazing. You had a successful career. You made music for all these indie games, and now you're getting them, videos of them pulled down because of a petty vendetta. No one will ever hire Alex Mauer again, and if anyone ever does, they are an idiot. What kind of psychopath just goes around suing all of their past employers who paid you for their work, and not just the employers, but taking legal action against customers of your past employers? Egad, could you imagine if you worked at McDonald's for a week, quit, and then started suing McDonald's and trying to close down their store and prosecuting anyone who ever ate a burger there? It's complete madness. And apparently the first day at court was just, I have to look this up. Oh, geez, I'm looking at the time. Hang on just a second. We gotta take a quick break, because what I found out about the first day at court is just utterly nuts. This person is insane. Anyway, you are listening to 89.5 FM KCFV The Wave, diverse music for your diverse mind. Gonna take a quick break. Remember, we got the Enrollment Express going on until 3 p.m. here at the Student Center at Florissant Valley Community College. This is GameBabble Live. We'll be back after a short break. Hello, you are listening to 89.5 FM KCFV The Wave, diverse music for your diverse mind. I'm your host, Jell, and this is GameBabble Live, our video game news and information show, which airs every Wednesday from noon to 3 p.m. However, I need to remind you, we've got the Enrollment Express going on at the Student Center today, all the way to 3 p.m. So you've got about 50 more minutes to get down here and sign up for some classes. And although you could just sign up for classes normally, too, I'm pretty sure. But Enrollment Express going on right now. Parking lot, lots of places to park. Coming out of the Student Center at Florissant Valley Community College if you want to get your college on. I like the place. Anyway, we were talking about the Alex Mauer DMCA debacle, and I highly recommend, I just checked it out, it's easy to find, going to sirtaptap.com, all one word, and he has an article, it's right at the top of the page, called A Factual Timeline of the Alex Mauer DMCA Debacle. Tons of links, tons of references, absolutely little to no commentary on the situation. It's nothing but facts and evidence because, the facts speak for themselves. So I was about to mention Alex Mauer's first day at court, wherein she, her first hearing does not go well for her. She fires and harasses her own lawyer, sends an insulting letter to the judge, mocks her parents, and apparently she admits that she released her parents' address publicly weeks ago, so that way people would do food delivery spam, which is, where you, order a bunch of pizza and Chinese food, and you send it to someone else's house, and now they have to pay for it, because it's a really crappy thing to do. And apparently, Alex Mauer's parents were hit with a whole bunch of food spam, thanks to Alex Mauer being a dirtbag. Egad, I hate giving this person the amount of common courtesy that I need to. How does anyone want to be hated this much? This person honestly hates everything, because she hates Let's Players. She hates YouTubers that just play video games and actively wants to take down their channel. She hates all of her former employers and is trying to harass people, and, she really hates lawyers and the legal system and copyright, and that's, part of the problem, is she doesn't want to pursue a copyright on this. Admittedly, that's part of how she self-incriminates, is in this text conversation. She says, I know it was a work-for-hire contract. I know I was paid. The only argument is that she wasn't paid enough. According to her, she is owed $9,000, which, wow, what a rampage to go on for $9,000. I kind of understand, but it's well, here's the exact thing. But it was, direct quote from Alex Mauer in this text conversation, but it was composed for hire and he paid me. He paid me less than we agreed on, breaking the verbal agreement. I asked for a contract and he failed that too. Then I asked for him to sign a license agreement and he said no. That should probably be the origin of this problem. Let me look back up here and find out why. I know, it was a little bit of, unpaid sick days or something. Let's see. Arrested for charges, separate medical issues of some manner, and could not complete work, and eventually... Oh, that's right! Because she broke her contract. She had some kind of medical issues and could not complete work, left her contracting position with Imagos. She was not paid for weeks of work she missed, which is one of the multiple reasons she has offered for cause of the dispute. So, basically there were medical issues, had to break the contract, missed a bunch of work, didn't get paid for the work that was missed, and now wants payment for that work and is willing to just cause a complete disaster online. Again, I highly recommend checking out SirTapTap.com to read the full report with links and everything to this whole debacle. It is honestly one of the most fascinating pieces of drama to happen in gaming in a long while. I don't think any single person can do it justice. They can't. They honestly can't. Just reading a factual timeline of events, your jaw will be on the floor. Because it's just nuts. How could anyone want this to happen? So we've talked enough about Alex freaking Mauer. Let's move on to something else. I would say, the other big news is that Kingdom Hearts 3 is supposedly coming in 2018. There's a much happier subject. Kingdom Hearts 3, they showed video footage of the Toy Story world where Sora, Donald, and Goofy actually get, toy forms, which if they don't make toys of toy form Sora, Donald, and Goofy, then they are missing out. We know it has to happen. And, it looks great. It's one of those things that I kind of always wanted to happen, is I kind of like seeing when old CG is done in real time in the future, and right now, yeah, the Toy Story world looks almost identical to the original movie, except it's not as shiny. I kind of wish they'd give everything a plasticine shine, like the original film, so that way it could look completely identical. But you can actually leave Andy's room, and you go out in the neighborhood, and that looks identical. The environments look identical to Toy Story. It is, legit impressive, and, Tetsuya Nomura came out to explain why the game keeps getting delayed, why it's taking so long, and the reason is because the higher-ups at the company changed engines. They were using a proprietary engine for Kingdom Hearts 3, and then they said, nah, switch to Unreal Engine 4. And they did that somewhat recently, so that was kind of throwing a big reset button into everything. Like, they could use the same models and art assets they had laying around, I'm sure, but a lot of the back-end programming had to be redone. They had to do a bunch of porting, and that wound up really throwing the team off. The one thing I'm really concerned about with Kingdom Hearts 3, which looks super fun, is I'm worried about how many worlds there's going to be. Because they did say that this time they wanted each world to be more fleshed out. In the past, the worlds were very small. You just did one thing, then you moved on to the next world. Now they want to have much bigger, more fleshed out worlds, which is great, except I would think the trade-off would be less worlds. And that could be really disappointing, because hopping from Disney movie to Disney movie is, the fun of Kingdom Hearts. And right now, what worlds do we know of? We know of Hercules and we know of Toy Story. Toy Story is kind of interesting, but, none of that is stuff that really gets me excited. I would enjoy spending more time in Agrabah if we go back to the Aladdin world. I forget if they said if there's going to be a Frozen world or not. I would actually like a Frozen world, but I don't know if that's happening. Also, they've said that you're going to get to have more party members than before, and Kingdom Hearts 3 is turning out pretty good, and if it really does come out in 2018, that'll be great. That'll make a lot of people happy. Other than that, there was a whole bunch of VR news, including, and this makes me happy, One Piece Grand Cruise is a One Piece VR game that will be coming to PlayStation VR. Apparently there's a big, One Piece event going on, I think, this weekend in Tokyo, where they're, commandeering the entire Tokyo Tower to do One Piece things, and they have a special 8-player version of the game that they're going to be showing off there as a beta, and the concept is that you, behind One Piece Grand Cruise, is that you basically you join the Straw Hat Pirates for one day, and you get into ship battles, and you get to interact with the crew, which, yes, includes Nami. They've already confirmed that. And, that'll be coming to PlayStation VR at some time, and that'll be fun. And speaking of PlayStation VR, some interesting things happened there. Idolmaster's Cinderella Girls viewing revolution actually came out in the States this week. Which, if it's there, that's all very awkward, because honestly, I bought a 360 to play the original Idolmaster, and it was not actually a very good game. It's not a music game. If you think, oh, but Idolmaster, I love music, it's not a music game. It's an idol management simulator. It is a very simple idol management simulator with 3 different stats. It is not a music game at all. The singing sections are completely non-interactive. It is mostly a bunch of menus and raising stats. If you want to know what Idolmaster is like, pick up the Videogame Hyperdimension Neptunia Producing Perfection, or Hyperdimension Neptunia PP. It is an Idolmaster knockoff that's pretty much identical. I have a hard time calling it that much worse than Idolmaster. The one thing I could give Idolmaster was that the presentation and graphics were fantastic, but the VR game does not use the same fantastic graphics as the 360 game. It uses the PSP version graphics, so that winds up getting downgraded. And the VR game is barely even a game. You pretty much just wave glow sticks in the audience. The same thing as that Hatsune Miku game you can download for free, and then you buy, like, extra things for it. It is basically a worse version of that Hatsune Miku game. And it's the same way, where you buy, except the Hatsune Miku game, it's free, and then you buy add-ons for it. Idolmaster, it costs money, and then you buy add-ons for it. And they're really dumb add-ons, too. I'm just saying it doesn't seem that good, but it came out in the States. What also came out is a game called Archangel for the PlayStation VR, which is an on-rails mech shooter. And, hang on just a second. It's an on-rails, sorry about that, mech shooter for the PlayStation VR, and it's kind of impressive, but it's also kind of expensive. Like, it is digital only, but costs just a little under full price, which is shocking with PlayStation VR games. See, the thing with the PlayStation VR, to just explain what's going on with that, is that Sony tries to release new games for it every week digitally. And so PlayStation VR players, we're used to getting relatively low-priced downloadable games that may be a little on the simplistic side, but it's nice. It's, they keep coming out with games. That's what we're used to. And then all of a sudden we're getting these digital games that cost nearly full price, but they're still digital only, and people get a lot more wary. Like Arizona Sunshine was that way. If that game wasn't as expensive as it was, it would have been much more well-received. But since it was so pricey, people are like, I got some good games for cheaper on my PlayStation VR. And if you're going to be that expensive, go all in. Archangel at least feels AAA. The graphics are fantastic, and I'm playing on a regular PS4, not a Pro. You don't need a Pro. On a regular PS4, it's one of the most beautiful games on the PlayStation VR. It looks great. The concept is super nifty because it shows you use the two move controllers, and it shows you holding these, like, floating controller things, which in turn control the robot's arms. And you have immediate one-to-one control on your in-game controllers, but the robot arms have just a little bit of lag to them, but that gives them a sense of weight. And that's super neat. And, like, the feeling of being in this gorgeous giant robot, punching away bridges, shooting down things, firing missiles, very nice. Unfortunately, you may as well call it This Is Why I Love Mortal Blitz. Because the game opens with this long-winded train ride with a bunch of exposition on a wall that doesn't explain anything, and of course you have a son. And the moment a game starts, the first thing you see is your son. You're like, oh geez, how long until he dies? Which, it's not even a spoiler right now. Yes, he does. As soon as you finish the tutorial, he kicks the bucket, and then the rest of the game is a roaring rampage of revenge. Unfortunately, as another thing I hate about VR games, this happens way too often, the main character won't shut up. But Jell, you say, isn't the main character you? Yeah, and it's really awkward not being able to stop my mouth. I guess it's good that the main character's name, whether you choose male or female, is pretty much Gabby. Because boy are they. Egad, I hate the main character's just constant yammering in this game. It's dumb. The main character just doesn't shut up, and I don't like, being in first person, being this character, and having everyone reacting to the stupid things coming out of the main character's mouth that I have no control over. And just, they don't shut up. And there's so many, breaks for story, and it moves kind of slow. And it's just this is the whole reason why I like Mortal Blitz. Yeah, it stops for story, sometimes, but when the game gets going, it's pretty much just non-stop shooting. This is, I can't imagine replaying this, but at least the game is, I hear it's a good 3 hours long, which is pretty good for a VR game, but at the same time, I don't know. It's not bad, but it's not quite as good as I would like. The other big VR game that's out everywhere except America is Super Hot VR. It'll be hitting the States on Friday, and if you pre-order it now, you get it cheaper. So I did. I look forward to that. Super Hot VR, by the way, is sold separately from Super Hot Regular, which is coming out the same day, and there's a bundle with both of them together at a discounted price. Super Hot being a very interesting first-person shooter where basically time only moves when you move. If you hold still, time is frozen. And every step you take, everything you do slowly moves time. And it allows you to do just completely crazy Matrix BS, dodging bullets, grabbing guns out of enemies' hands, throw one gun at an enemy, grab a pool ball, hit a gun out of another enemy's hand, grab the gun in midair. It looks amazing. It's been out on PC for a while, and the VR one was supposed to be Oculus exclusive, and that got ported to Vive, and now it's coming to PlayStation VR, and I cannot wait to get my hands on it. Already paid. Just need them to send me the game, because I pre-ordered it. I look forward to playing it. It'll be super stupid fun, because just egad. Anyway, I think it's about time to take a quick little break. So, here's I Don't by Mariah Carey featuring YG here on 89.5 FM KCFV The Wave. Diverse music for your diverse mind. Thank you so much for listening. Please enjoy. Hello, you are listening to 89.5 FM KCFV The Wave. Diverse music for your diverse mind. I'm your host, Jell, and this is GameBabble Live, our video game news and information show, which airs every Wednesday from noon to 3 p.m. We've still got a few minutes left if you want to come on down for the Enrollment Express. Lasts until 3 o'clock at the Student Center here at Florissant Valley Community College. But, moving right along, that does mean it is time to wrap up the show, and so we've got just a few more bits of interesting information. The most interesting is that Drive Girls is getting a U.S. release. Apparently September 8th. I guess it's a pushback. Let me explain that game. Apparently it's from the developers of Bushido Blade. Not that that really matters. And it is a game about cute girls that transform into cars and fight robot bugs. Yes, it is... It is Transformers Moe Edition without being Kiss players. Don't Google Kiss players. It is... Okay. It looks a lot like Senran Kagura, except with driving, and I saw the trailer for it. I'm very happy they're using Eurobeat music, so you can, non-vocal, unfortunately, from what I've seen, but good choice, get your initial D on. I look forward to playing that game. Shame it's only going to be on Vita. It'll probably get a PC port eventually, but yeah, that looks like fun. That looks like goofy, weird fun. I am all about that. Other than that, got a little bit more information on Kingdom Hearts 3. Apparently the Toy Story world takes place after Toy Story 2 and is a new story instead of them just retelling the movie, so that's different. And apparently there is also a Big Hero 6 world in development. And Nomura, I guess there's a Tangled world that I missed, and Nomura said he wants to have more worlds than Kingdom Hearts 2, which would be nice, but I don't believe it. We'll see how far they get. They did say that they make no guarantees on DLC, but they might do more worlds as DLC. Basically, they said, make it so that can be implemented easily if we decide to do that. No guarantee if they will or not. Would be interesting to see how they would try to implement that. I don't know. Other than that, apparently... GameStop, Target, and Best Buy will be restocking Switches this week, so through July 20th, GameStop will supposedly have stock available, and Target and Best Buy will be restocked on the 21st, just in time for the release of Splatoon 2. So if you're still trying to get a Switch, tomorrow and the day after are probably going to be your best bets. And also, Undertale will be coming to PlayStation 4 and Vita August 15th. If you pick it up, it's cross-buy. So if you buy it on one system, you get it on both. And if you pre-order, you get an Undertale theme with new music from Toby Fox, the creator and composer for Undertale, along with new Undertale-y art. And there's also a physical edition, a physical collector's edition of Undertale, which comes with, a music box locket and like a songbook in it, and just all sorts of things. So if you're a hardcore Undertale fan, hey, Super Fancy Special Edition to Undertale is on the horizon. Other than that, let's see here. No, not a whole lot to talk about other than that. So I think that concludes the show. Thank you so much for joining us. It always amazes me that sometimes you just have slow news weeks and I can still pull through. Like that, we got a bunch of Evo announcements, and I was like, oh yeah, that'll be great for the show. And then, it's like, oh wait, all I'm going to be talking about is new character announced for this game, new character announced for this game. Geese for Tekken 7, Jubei for BlazBlue, Abigail for Street Fighter 5. And yeah, Arika's Street Fighter EX-ish fighting game is confirmed to be coming out, even though it doesn't have a name yet. It'll be here by 2018, and it's got Skullmania and Darren Meister in it. Holding out for Pullumperna and Area. Apparently, I'm the only person on the planet who actually likes Area, but Pullumperna's my main. So I look forward to getting her back. Either way, good times for all. I will see you next week. Everyone have a good time, and I will continue intermittently streaming Final Fantasy XII. Might take a quick break to stream something else, maybe some Dungeon Fighter if this computer holds out. That hard drive issue was completely unexpected. Hopefully it was just a glitch. I should back up my files. And, yeah. I don't know what else to say. Thank you so much for joining and listening to the show. I really appreciate it. I really appreciate Flow Valley for giving me this show. I don't appreciate getting up so early because to me 10:30 in the morning is early. But I love it. I love being here. I love telling you about video games that people don't talk about, because that's the interesting thing with video games. It is a wide world, and most of the time you're only going to hear about what you see commercials for on TV. It winds up drowning out everything else. And there's still goofy things coming out of Japan. There's still weird stuff from indie developers. I don't think any one person or any one site can truly cover the full breadth and depth of video games, because there are so many weird indie games, crazy things from other countries, and then, of course, the big name stuff. And my specialty, of course, is crazy console games from other countries. That's my domain. I don't keep up too hard with indie games. I respect their developers, and when I can, I do mention them. But for the most part, it is all about crazy console games from other countries that people ain't talk about. And yeah, it's glad to be here. Glad you're all listening. Remember, if you want more of me, I've got a YouTube channel. I'm trying to set up a Google Drive for putting up backups of the show, so that way... But the way I get the show files, like the audio files, it's not just one big chunk. It's every time I go on the air is a separate audio file. So I gotta sit down sometime and splice the whole thing together, and then I'll slap them on a Google Drive and try to get those up so people can listen to past episodes. Still a shame the best episode got lost, which was like the second episode. But I will do my best. I've got plans for what I'm going to do with that. I'm probably just going to redo my big talk there where I was talking about the importance of international gaming and as many countries as possible making video games and why that's important to me. I'll just redo that as an actual episode one of these days. I've got so much on the table. I still need to sit down and do my video where I explain how Splatoon is Pac-Man before people get too far into Splatoon 2, because you need to know Splatoon is Pac-Man, and once you get that Splatoon is Pac-Man, the game becomes so much better. So much better. Anyway, this has been GameBabble Live. Thank you so much for listening. See you again next week, and enjoy the music. Let's see, what are we gonna go out on? How about... that sounds like a fun song. Thunder in the Rain by Kane Brown. is up next here on 89.5 FM KCFV The Wave. Actually, I've got a little bit more time. What was I going to say? I still need to do my VR endurance stream. Because that was the thing I wanted to do, is spend, like, an entire day inside VR. I'm trying to figure out when the best time is, because it's always like, oh, there's one more VR game I can add to the list. Oh, one more. Like, August 8th. Skip ahead, or August 1st. Skip ahead a little bit. A game called Dino Frontier is coming out for PlayStation VR, which is sort of a SimCities type game in VR, where you're looking over, like, this diorama of a town, and you've just got these floating hands that you pick up and drop things. Apparently, like, in order to farm land, you actually grab farming tools and till the ground, and then grab a giant watering can and water it. And the idea is that you're creating this frontier settlement in a world that's a combination of cowboys and dinosaurs. And I'm like, okay, that is a game that you could zen out in VR to for like a few hours. At least it sounds like it. It's a lot like Corix. Like, that is something where I could just sit there and play that for a while. Kind of want to hold out for that. Definitely want to play that game that's coming out next week. Like, that snuck up on me. Hey, we're going to get a versus first-person shooter next week. That'll be great. Even if it is teleport movement, that looks super fun. Anyway, thanks again for listening. Here's Thunder in the Rain by Kane Brown here on 89.5 FM KCFV The Wave. Diverse music for your diverse mind. Thank you so much for listening. Catch you next week.